Good evening and welcome to the Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic, which happens on the second Thursday of every month and has been since the end of 2004. Hi, welcome. And so we're celebrating our 10th year, and technically November will be the 10th anniversary, but we decided to celebrate the 10th year all year in 2014. Big thank you to Mel and Mark and Cover to Cover Books for staying open late for us. They do that every month. And also, I mentioned a little bit earlier, but I want to thank Matt Brislon for the microphone and amp. If there's anybody that can't hear, this thing is such a monster, let me know and we can adjust it. But hopefully it'll make people easier to be heard tonight. What else did I want to mention? If things get really warm in here, we may open the door at some point, but we'll probably start with the close just to see how that goes. And if there's anybody who just came in that wants to get something to drink, this is really your last chance because they won't make any drinks. Is there anybody who wants something? Okay. I remember what else I wanted to say. I wanted to welcome back Tiffany Burbashram, who is our videographer, and for most of the history of the series, we didn't have one of those, and I didn't have the time or the energy, and I can't be up here and out there at the same time most of the time. And so we're really happy to have her. It's great that even family and friends in other parts of the country can see what happens here every month. Most of my family is on the East Coast, so and I'm particularly happy that she's here tonight because I'm going to start tonight with a poem by a friend of mine in California. So this would probably be the only way that he'll get to see me read his poem. He sends me poems and poetry books and CDs frequently, and right now he is among the middle-aged men who have a thing for Katy Perry. It's called Katy Perry Prism. He does not indicate in the poem whether you're supposed to sing it, but I am not going to sing it. There's a lot of repetition, so hang in there as I try to find a way to do that in a way that might possibly be entertaining in some way. Shine your prism, your Katy Perry prism. 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 Katy, shine your light on me. Katy, shine your light. Katy, shine your light on me. Katy, shine your light. Katy, shine your light on me. Katy, shine your light. Katy, shine your light on me. Shine it through the night. I've got something to say to the NSA. Stop spying on me and the people of the USA. We are your family and we are your friends. We are your neighbors and your countrymen. We're good Americans, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens, and we don't even care if you've deleted it. We still believe in the Constitution. Eric Snowden is an American hero because Katy Perry, wait a second, there's something here. Now I have Katy Perry on the brain. Eric Snowden is an American hero. Chelsea Manning is an American hero. And all the whistleblowers, can't name them all, they are the ones who lead us onto freedom. I'm not just demographics for your paranoia. I've got a right to my own life, and I wish you'd respect it. Katy Perry is an American hero because Katy Perry is into freedom. Katy is into loving and expressing yourself, loving other people because you respect them as well as yourself, not trying to get the goodies on someone else. So I've got something to say to the NSA. If you want to shine a prism, don't shine your unconstitutional NSA prism, but shine a prism, a Katy Perry prism. Shine your prism, your Katy Perry prism. Shine your prism, your Katy Perry prism. Shine your prism, your Katy Perry prism. Join the party and get to dancing, because just like you, we are all good Americans. Don't forget, we are your family, and we are your friends. We are your neighbors and your fellow citizens. If you've got something you want to know, why don't you just ask me? Don't forget, we are your family, and we are your friends. Katy, shine your light on us, Katy. Shine your light. Katy, shine your light on us, Katy. Shine your light. Katy, shine your light on us, Katy. Shine your light. Katy, shine your light on us. Shine it through the night. The light I'm talking about is not on your computer screen. I'm not talking about the light the man is shining on you. I'm talking about the light that is the light of love, the light of forgiveness, and the light of acceptance. Forgive me, my government, for I have sinned. Forgive me, my president, for I'm only human. Pat Tillman is an American hero, one who made the ultimate sacrifice. Fragged, or call it killed by friendly fire, Pat Tillman paid for the truth with his life. Katie, shine your light on us. Katie, shine your light. Eric, shine your light on us. Eric, shine your light. Chelsea, shine your light on us. Chelsea, shine your light. Pat, shine your light on us. Pat Tillman, shine your light. Join the party, the American dance party. I'm talking about the freedom kind of dancing. Freedom dancing to the Katy Perry prism. Do the dance they wrote for you and me. The dance of good Americans who were born to be free. David Magdalene. I'm sure that David will read that better than me, but I think you'd probably appreciate me giving it a shot. Okay, so our first reader tonight is going to be our stalwart videographer, Tiffany Burbishram.
Thank you. I'll try. So the reason I wasn't here the last few months is because my daughter had a baby, so I became a grandmother. So that's why I wasn't here. I was enjoying her. Good things. So this poem I wrote about 3 weeks before she was born. It's called Visions of the Future. I wake to the sound of Sophia talking. She doesn't form words yet, but her sounds are songs played to my heart. She is happy, growing at her mother's care. My home is filled to the top with love and baby stuff. Love rushes out the door and nourishes the sunflowers that grow in the garden. Sophia will play here one day. She will help me plant the seeds, water and care for them. She will learn that we have a connection to the sunflower. It is who we are. The sunflower represents strength, generosity, giving, beauty, and love. Sunflowers hold in them all that is needed to flourish in life. Love for the earth, the sun, the rain, and the orange moon of August that illuminates the flower petals in the darkest of night. Sophia, you are a sunflower because your mother is, I am, and your great-grandmother was. We are strong, love until our last breath, and nurture and care for those that are around us. Even the weeds need the love and support from us. Even the weeds can grow with our love and compassion. It will not be easy for you. The burden is large, but your mother is here to guide you. I am here to show you the beauty that resides within you, teach you how to nurture the weeds. You will be the most beautiful sunflower of us all, for you hold the spirit of the mighty sunflowers that flourish before you. Never be afraid of your strength, compassion, and your ability to see the good in others. It is within your eyes that others see the beauties within themselves. This is your gift to the world. Share it, care for it, so when you have a daughter, you can teach her the ways of the sunflower. And this other one is based on Dionysus, a mythological figure. So don't know where this came from, but here it is. Dionysus is the god to which my lovers pay their respects to. The madness and chaos of drugs, drink, and ecstasy slither like serpents around his feet. He tries to lure me in as he walks with his thyrus, a pine cone tipped staff, a large tiger by his side. I enter his palace in search of my love. Look everywhere, but all I see is drunkenness. I am not impressed by the vats of wine and platters of drugs that adorn the silk-draped tables. Music arouses my senses, and I greet a one glass of wine, ask where my lover is. He just smiles and says, "Please finish your glass of wine. Give it time." I do not remember the rest of the night. Just dreams of grapevines and dolphins swimming in the sphere of the moon. The vats are dry, the tables are clear. My love sits beside the palace doors, his Cyrus resting the palm of his left hand. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here,
Hi everybody, I'm Tony. I'm going to read something of my own.
How are the short people?
That's really short. Yes, I'm short, but I'm not sure I'm that short. 5 feet anyway. There you go, 5 feet the ponytail. All right, I'm going to read this one for you, and I wanted to read after you, Tiff, because this is for you. Old Highway 1. We creep along cliff edges north, past smooth hills rounded like tan asses of Cali girls. I drive, you write, doze, snore. We talk shit, laugh till it hurts, and give thanks for our good fortune. Neither thought life would go this way. Most of our luck in love drove south, dropped below tolerable, into vats of vindictiveness. But this, like a massage with a happy ending. Warm fingers on tight flesh, a reprieve from doubt, a poultice around two toughened hearts. For you. We're next going to hear from April Bullard. April, come on out.
Thank you. One shameless plug. If you go first Friday for the art shows downtown, I'll be showing with 7 other artists in the community library. So be sure to stop in and see the artwork if you can.
Second shameless plug, we are restocked on April's children's book.
Yes, sock thief.
And this one, I couldn't help it. I kept remembering what my mother used to look like in the summertime, chasing mosquitoes with fly swatters around the house after dark. And then I tried to imagine, well, I kind of do the same thing, and what would we look like from a grandchild's eyes? So it's called Grandma Hunterina. There are times my grandmother scares me. Her eyes twinkle with colors so bright. Behind wrinkles and smirks, something sinister lurks. Something that's just not quite right. The whole day spent swimming and sending stones skimming, hiking trails through the woods by the shore. Round the fireplace burning, we have marshmallows turning, and we feast on our sticky s'mores. Grandpa thinks a spell and begins to tell of cutthroat pirates and evil betrayal, storms and monsters at sea, ghosts and skeleton keys. A coyote howls and I let out a wail. "'Tis, 'tis," Grandma said, "you'll fill his young head. What can be done? Oh, with nightmares he won't sleep a wink. What can be done to continue the fun? Maybe a tune or two. What do you think?" Grandma sings a song, but it's all wrong. Witches' cauldrons and thumps on the stairs. Children gone missing, ugly toads needing kissing, spells, potions, and murderous affairs. Well, the clock chimes 12, and we find ourselves snuggled together, piled on the couch. We stretch and yawn, our fire is gone. Grandma slaps her arm fast and yells, "Ouch!" She springs to her feet, and though she's petite, she leaps 20 feet across the room. The fly swatter small, she grabs off the wall, shouting, "Mosquito, you've met your doom!" With indignant nobility and amazing agility, she pirouettes on the back of a chair. Then her fiendish eyes spy their prize, resting aloft on the ceiling so bare. Grandma's aim zeroed in, and her hunter's grin sends goosebumps up my spine. She soars through the air with glorious flair, a bulbous ballerina so divine. Deadly anger flashes, and my grandma smashes that bug with a stroke so precise. Landing gently below her blood-splattered foe, she smiles sweetly and bats her eyes twice. A chubby old lady, nearer 60 than 80. Shouldn't grandmas be demure and sweet? one buzz from a bug, and with one tiny shrug, mine becomes a cold killer elite.
Next we're going to hear from Ken. Come on up, Ken. I know this happens to go taller for you. You bet. How's that? You okay?
Yeah, I think
All right.
that'll work. Thank you, God, for most this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits. I want to present a couple of parts of poems that were come from other writers, and then I wanted to recite one of my own. I thank you, God. This first one is it's only 4 lines, so don't blink. I thank you, God, most for this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees, and the blue true dream of sky, and for everything that is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. That's from E.E. Cummings. In 1965, Bob Dylan released 2 albums within 4 months of each other, bringing it all back home, and Highway 61 revisited. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think there's been anything like it before or since. And I want to recite a part of the lyrics from one of those songs. I'm bringing it all back home. Johnny's in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government. A man in a trench coat, badge out, laid off, says he's got a bad cough, wants to get it paid off. Look out, kid. There's something you did. God knows when, but you're doing it again. Better duck down the alleyway looking for a new friend. Man with a coonskin cap and a pig pen wants $11 bills. You only got 10. Maggie comes fleetfoot, face full, black soot, saying that the heat put plants in the bed, but the phone's tapped anyway. Maggie says the many say they must bust an early May, orders from the DA. Look out, kid, don't matter what you did. Walk on your tiptoes. Don't try no-toes. Better stay away from those that carry around a fire hose. Keep a clean nose. Watch the plane goes. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows.
Yeah.
That's the first 2 verses of it. Maybe one day I'll come back and do the rest of it. But I wanted to get this out before I forget. And a while back I saw, or I heard Bob Dylan for an interview or something, and he said he doesn't even know the guy that wrote those songs. And then at some point he said that he wished he could rap like that.
So these three pieces aren't really connected in any way that I know of, except that I'm doing them all tonight. So this next one is mine. It's called The Dancer. The dance hall had a warm glow, lit by people, lit by wine, by the music and the movements, choreographed and improvised. When I met her, she was standing on the figure on the ground. Her feet stayed on my shoulders as I spun halfway around. If the dancer was the answer, what question did I ask? We moved in perfect patterns that are only found by chance. Does a snowdrift on the trail mean there isn't any path? Can a lover soothe the pain inside, like a hot springs mountain bath? I really didn't care about the color of her hair. Her interest meant more to me than whether it was fair to share a spirit months in hiding from the open air. And her loving flashed like lightning in the darkness of the tunnel of despair. The dancer was the answer. What question did I ask? We moved in perfect patterns that are only found by chance. Does a snowdrift on the trail mean there isn't any path? Can a lover soothe the pain inside, like a hot springs mountain bath? The mornings found us walking down the sunlit, rainy streets. The clouds were playing with the sun, like a puppy with her feet. We didn't have directions, and we didn't have to guess. Our days poured by more smoothly than apple cider from a press. If a dancer was the answer, what question did I ask? We moved in perfect patterns that are only found by chance. There's a snowdrift on the trail when there isn't any path. Can a lover soothe the pain inside, like a hot springs mountain bath? Thank you.
Ken, I adore you. Every time you come, you bring me a gift. And what I need to say about this gift is Bob Dylan, Phil Livingston, me, and El Camino. And I don't know if it was a 4-track or an 8-track, but all I can say to you is, you don't need a weatherman, know which way the wind blows. I remember it so clearly. Thank you so much, really. Mike G, where are you, Mike?
It's been a while. It's good to be back. Love the work of our features, Brittany and Leah. Glad that I'm here for them. It's been too long. Also, it's been too long for those of you who know Dennis McBride. Saw him tonight. He's doing okay. He
Good.
says hi, and he hopes to make it here soon. Life is hard, he says, and but he's hanging in there like we all must. Let's see. For the living greatness of those of us here and the passed away greatness of Robin Williams, And for my magic friend who was missing for a while and I feared dead but is very much alive, I say this. It's come to my attention that Jane Goodall believes in the existence of Sasquatch. Why, Jane? Because I'm a romantic. I'm leaving the chimps behind. They no longer satisfy. My entire life I've wanted to mate with an undiscovered great ape. Experience the hairy root of his genius. Be a wife to a non-human husband. Wife to a primate, Mr. Right. I love Jane Goodall. I want her dream to come true. I picture her in a forest clearing, naked on hands and knees, rump thrust to the stars. Her vagina shines silver-haired in lusty moonlight, her vagina smeared with pheromones of ovulating silverbacks and chimpanzees. I picture Jane Goodall howling for her Sasquatch to come, and he comes, he howls, she howls, he rips through trees to get to her, her once gentle eyes now ferocious in lust, fixed to his cock, hard and fur-shrouded, balls dragging the ground, plowing the earth to greet her, and her face, beautiful, wild, animal face. Jane's face is now identical to her face as it was before she was born, and a joyful tear drips from her clit into the cup of Sasquatch's grateful hands. She lives in pure beast happiness. She grows back the fangs, claws, and fur she had before. At midnight they swim in the secret lake. Holding hands, they float on their backs. Jane Goodall smiles. Sasquatch smiles. He scoops her body onto his. His gentle eyes commune with the gentleness in hers. They kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss and kiss as the moon sets and the forest roars, moans, chirps, cries, hoots, sings the same ecstatic, tragic song it always sings, always will, and for the rest of her life, in the arms of Sasquatch, Jane sleeps well. Thanks.
Tony sat on my lap while we were listening to that, and I think she might have left some pheromones on my knee.
Hopefully not of ovulating silverbacks and chimpanzees. That's for Jane Goodall.
I think I know where she's been, so I don't think there were any silverbacks involved.
You're sure?
One of the things, yeah, first I know. One of the things that's really great about doing this is getting to introduce people for the first time, and I believe this is the first time this person is reading here. So let's give a warm Ghost Town welcome to Pedro.
Thank you, everyone. Dive bar, 50-cent taco day. Sitting next to a lady with life on her arms, we build about the Douglas Adams quote and the band Korn on her earlobe. Adams makes sense, but Korn? Thoughts I leave alone. The prayer decorates my skin. The word God. You have a God tattoo? I don't know about that, she comments, sucks her teeth, and turns away. I eat my 4 tacos, pay the bartender, walking home, ideas duel about what I didn't get a chance to say. But then I remembered, she tattooed corn on her skin. And I love music, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think that was really funny. And if you don't know who Corn is, it's Corn with a K. Google it when you get home. Don't watch any interviews or videos about how they came up with the name, however. You might be disappointed. Or disgusted. Completely disgusted. Okay, next we're going to hear from what I call the cavalcade of MCs. Joyce Colson is going to come up and share some poems. Joyce is the host of a reading that happens 1 week after ours every time at Paper Tiger Coffee, and I hope everyone will head down there and check that out next week. Here's Joyce.
It's power to the short people and freedom for the tall people.
That really makes sense. Whatever.
I'm going to do 2 political poems tonight. First one's called The Holy Truth According to the Atheist. In the beginning, the world lay fertile and willing, and the spoke of evolution turned inside the wheel of evolving creation. It was the endless, boundless, unlimited turning of the wheel unwinding into life. Space and time evolved into space-time, and worlds began spinning in the space of their time. The quantum cat was born, the belt of Orion was worn, the begat of the Sphinx begat the pyramids of Giza. And it came to pass that the ape climbed down from the forbidden tree and walked with the forbidden fruit and begat Pandora's box. It was then that the Almighty, known as Bruce Almighty, begat cubits and arcs, and they all came marching 2 by 2. Then came a great cry of remorse, and the world flooded with misery that loved company, and thus was the corporation begat. Thus it was in the beginning, but came the miracle of the middle, that grew miraculously untouched, as a virgin begat a virgin. It was so that the commandments were revised for posterity, and for numerous confessions and 3 Hail Marys. Thus did the martyr meet the legend, and the legend grew from the prayers. It was said that the soul shriveled, and a man with a mustache did begat crematoriums. Thus did the end begin, and it was called the beginning of the end. It was the end according to Mayans, and it was the end according to terrorists, and it was the end according to occupiers, but it was not the end according to Wall Street. Thus we have arrived at the future, where the unknown and unpredictable begets the worry and the concern. As any physicist knows, there is no need to worry. The universe will collapse and we can start all over again. In the beginning, the world lay fertile and willing, and the spoke of evolution turned inside the wheel of evolving creation. I'm not an atheist, but I figured that's how atheists might see the holy truth. This next one is called Global Warming. I watched the weather, a deluge of rain blowing with wind, pelting exposed plants as if they had drowned. Is this our 40th day of rain? Are the seasons swarming into one roar? Umbrellas might be just enough to substitute as a small boat. I watched the weather, a torrent of pouring melted ice. It drains the sky of tears. Is this our 40th day of rain? Is global warming really global change? Umbrellas might be just enough to substitute as a small boat. I watched the weather, a flood of animal-starved arcs, a weather change everyone wants to ignore. Maybe it's our 41st day of rain and we drown in the river of our karma. Umbrellas might be just enough to substitute as a small boat. But as I watch the weather, a steady rhythm of nature crying, the global wonders of warming may just be enough, just enough that we can put away our umbrellas. Then, swimming ashore with each other, nature might, just might rain a second chance. Let's hope our umbrella doesn't have a hole.
Okay, please say hello to Mickey and Maggie.
There. That should work. I'm going to read my latest poem in honor of Robin Williams because I kind of think it sums up the unexpected beauty that we find in the rarest of souls. And the title of the poem is Unexpected Beauty. Vibrant magenta, framed in delicate verde, escapes curbs, confines, transitory, fragile, a bit of loveliness, breaking the monotony of stark gray concrete, like a warm smile erupting in a sea of indifference. And then I'm also reading another poem for both Robin and Lauren. We just lost Lauren Bacall yesterday. It's beyond grief, knowing the eternal. A brief candle, melting snowflake, each life passes too quickly, too quickly. Each soul dons costumes, characters in this ongoing corporeal play, roles too soon end. Yet life of spirit, life of soul, infinite and undying marches on. Friends, family, part of the one. We are forever unending, the inseparable, eternal, infinite, divine. And I was talking with Russ and Grace the other day, and we were talking about drum circles, and I happened to remember a beautiful woman that danced while I was playing the drum once, and she inspired a poem, and I thought tonight was a good night to share that. The poem's called Dance for Me. Dance for me, nature child, dance for me. Beautiful face melding maiden-like innocence, aegis knowing serenity, flowing rainbow, flying butterfly, swirling, floating garments, riot of color. Are you goddess or daughter, representing mother? Dance for me, dance for us all. Raise our prayers on your ecstatic howls. Priestess, Devi, goddess, dance for me. Let me adore you, worship you from afar. My avatar, don't you know? The rhythm of your lovely feet controls the beating of my heart, and while you dance, I am so truly alive.
Just experimenting with the buttons and knobs over there. I think that might have done something. Don't be afraid of it, but also be aware that you could take it off if that makes you more comfortable. It might be easier to get it close to you. Okay, so next we are going to hear from Roxanne Bash. Welcome, Roxanne.
Thank you. I'll try not to be afraid of it, but I might raise it up just a little bit. So I guess it's a theme this evening, but I was also thinking of Robin Williams when I chose these two poems. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Ella, the minnow. Beautiful scales shimmering as she swims upstream, pushing past rocks. Resting in shallow waters, Ella, the minnow. Long, flowing blonde hair floating in the ripples, made from the small skipping stones, skipped 3 times. No, 5 times. To land at Ella's feet as she emerges from the sea. What? Oh. What's that you say? It's L-M-N-O? you've never seen an Ella the minnow? Oh, I am so sorry for you. And the second one is called My Mother's Gift. You speak in low whispers, willing me to lean close, to hear, to understand. If I lean in, will you bite? Will I catch your disease? Will I grow up in the shadow of your depression, stealing my breath, tightening my lungs, clouding my sight? Will I hide in a basement as you do? If I lean in, will you give me the key to unlock the door to the hell you live in? To the clues you leave me for me to find, figure out, piece together, planning my own escape, to the secrets of your despair, resisting your seductive murmur to close my eyes. I lean in close. I understand.
Okay, we're going to have one more open mic reader before our first feature. We have 2 featured readers tonight. And that last open mic reader for the first half is going to be Montana Frank. Welcome back, Montana Frank.
Thank you. You excuse me, but being a Montana country poet, I just think better with my hat on. Noisy thing, eh? Well, yeah, I just got back from Montana a few days ago. Feels good over there. For us country boys. Anyway, you guys are going to all recognize this. And sometimes there's a tendency to follow along. But as I mentioned before, when I change a song to a ballad, some of the words kind of change. As I see it, a ballad is simply a song without music for us guys who can't sing. So bear with me on this one. We could see him each morning at the mine as he had arrived. When he reached 6'6", weighing well over 245, kind of broad at the shoulders and narrow at the hip. Everyone knew you don't give no lip to Big John. Nobody knew where John called home. He just drifted in town, stayed all alone. Didn't say much, kind of quiet and shy. If he spoke at all, he'd just be high. Somebody said he hailed from New Orleans, where he'd gotten a fight over a Cajun queen. And one mighty blow from a big right hand sent a Louisiana fella to the promised land. Yeah, that's John. That's our big bad John. Then came that fateful day, way down deep underground. Earth shook, timbers cracked, grown men began to cry, praying aloud, hearts beat fast, for all of us thought we'd breathed our last, except John. Because out of the darkness that man made hell walked a giant of a man we all knew well, grabbing the timber with a mighty groan, just stood there tall and straight and all alone. Then one mighty shove, and somebody said, "There's a light up above." 20 men scrambled from that would-be grave. Now there's just one man left down there to save, Big John. Grabbing our shovels and picks, we headed back down. But a rumbling, roaring, crashing sound from way down deep underground, as the smoke and the soot billowed up out of that mine, we knew full well it was the end of the line for Big John. Well, they never reopened that worthless pit. They just put a big old monument over it with these few words inscribed near the base of the stand. Down this mine lies one mighty, mighty big man, Big John. Big bad John. And then last but not least, since this is, I don't expect to be back. Well, I won't be back at least till next summer if I get back up here. I'm headed back down where it's warmer, down at Bullhead City, Arizona is where I live. Probably 115 today, but it'll warm up. If of this earthly goods I were bereft, I'd check my cupboard, and if I had but 2 loaves left, one I'd give to a needy friend, and I'd be much, much richer for it in the end. If we don't meet again during this earthly race, just look me up in a better place. I don't know if I go by name, number, or rank, so just look for Montana Frank.
Yay.